In today's video, I want to take a look at news regarding Elden Ring and its apparent release date. It may have been leaked for a summer 2020 launch window, and a specific release date has been detailed as well, so we'll take a look at that, although do take that information with a little bit grain of salt. And also, The Surge 2 has gotten a brand new trailer, and we'll talk that at the end of this video. But first up, definitely want to talk a little bit about Elden Ring, as I haven't talked about it much on this channel, based on the fact that we don't have a ton of information to work with. We haven't gotten gameplay, so there's only so much we can talk about in regards to this game. Of course, it's a brand new From Software game, so inherently people are gonna be excited, and the fact that George R.R. Martin is working on the game, that is gonna make people doubly excited. It is, of course, being published by Bandai Namco as well, and generally speaking, From Software has been very consistent in rounding out their games and releasing their games at a consistent timetable. They've released a bunch of games this generation. You look at Bloodborne, Sekiro, Dark Souls 3, they've been getting these games out rather consistently, and whenever a studio does put out a lot of games, the question has to be raised, well, are these games of quality? Well, in the case of From Software, hell yeah, all of these games have been of immense quality. And think about this, Elden Ring will be their fourth game this generation. How many studios this generation have put out 4 compelling titles? Not many, and all 4 of those games from a different series. Yes, they follow that challenging action style, but Dark Souls 3 was different than Bloodborne. Bloodborne was different than Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is going to be far different than Elden Ring. So let's talk this new news. According to a listing on Target's website, From Software's Elden Ring may be launching early next summer. This doesn't really seem to be a case of a placeholder date based on a company's fiscal year calendar. The retail listing features the seemingly legitimate date of Tuesday, June 30th, 2020. Now, games traditionally either release on Tuesdays or Fridays. It used to be that games really only released on Tuesdays, but now they've really opened up the door to release games on Friday as well. I don't know why it's taken this long for them to realize Friday game releases might be a good idea, just like why I don't know it's taken them this long, or they really haven't figured it out yet, that releasing games in the midst of summer, that being July or early August, isn't a bad idea considering that everybody is home from school and a lot of people have additional time to play games. Yes, some people go outside, but who wants to go outside? It's 2019 heading into 2020. Let's just all stay indoors and play video games. No, that is of course a joke. Go outside every now and again. But nonetheless, there is going to be a lot of additional time available during the summer. And for Elden Ring to drop on June 30th, 2020, sign me up for that. And I'm sure a lot of high school and college students would also be very excited at that notion, because this is a game that you're going to be able to invest a ton of time into, and to get access to the game in the midst of the summer, June 30th, I would say, is a middle of summer release. Most people would be out of school by then. That is incredibly exciting. Over on Target, the supposed June 30th release date appears in the picture's far right, colored with green text. Again, this listing may or may not be indicative of Elden Ring's actual launch date. It's still a ways away. However, if you actually look at From Software's consistency in putting out these games, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice was announced at E3 2018. It did not take a long time for that game to actually hit retail store shelves and be downloadable from the PlayStation Store. It was out by March, only 9 months later, and you absolutely know that Elden Ring is a game that they are going to want to get out before the launch of the PlayStation 5 and next Xbox. Obviously, they are going to remaster the hell out of this game on the PlayStation 5 and next Xbox, throw in the DLC or whatever the case may be. Bandai Namco has done that in the past with DS1 and DS2. If you don't think they're going to do that with Elden Ring, you are fooling yourselves. But if you're also expecting this game to be a fall 2020 release, I mean, it could happen. Dark Souls 2, in fact, was released in early 2014 after the release of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, so it's not like this is absolutely unheard of. However, I do think it'll pay dividends if you do release this game prior to the release of the next Xbox and PlayStation 5, because then you could just remaster the game anyway. You're gonna get a lot out of the release of the game on the PS4 and Xbox One as well, and there's gonna be a ton of people that are gonna double dip as well, whereas the case with Dark Souls 2, some people did skip that game altogether just because they were so invested into the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One at that point, and of course at that time neither of the platforms featured backwards compatibility. In the case of the PS4, it still doesn't to this day. Should be an issue that's marginalized next generation, as I do fully expect the PS5 to have backwards compatibility, whether it be full backwards compatibility or backwards compatibility compatibility to the PS4, that remains to be seen. But in the case of Elden Ring, I do expect it to be released in the earlier portion of 2020, and if a June 30th release date is what we're working with, that is incredibly exciting to me. And again, this isn't the end of a quarter that is just a placeholder date. Tuesday, June 30th is a legitimate release date, and again, with games being released on Tuesdays and Fridays, everything seems to line up in that regard. And honestly, I would rather the game be released in late June than say March and April and May. We've got the release of Final Fantasy VII Remake, Cyberpunk 2077. If you're gonna throw an Elden Ring in that timetable as well, I think my head is gonna explode. Also, rumors are that The Last of Us Part 2 is coming out in that time frame as well. I do not want to see Elden Ring also being released in that time period. I'm sure the game would do very well commercially, it's just we only have so many hours of the day. If you're gonna release The Last of Us Part 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Cyberpunk 2077, and Elden Ring within a 2-month period from one another, that is just absolutely insane. And I think for a 2-month period of major game releases, that would be the busiest period this generation, maybe ever, I don't really know, but that's just going off of what we kind of know as far as the game releases in early 2020. But nonetheless, June 30th is what we're working with at this point. Alright, next up, The Surge 2 has gotten a brand new trailer. Do want to cover this really quickly, as this is a game that's out really soon, a little over 2 weeks away, and it's gotten the You Are What You Kill trailer. The overview of the trailer from Focus Home Interactive lists, The Surge 2 brings the Nano Machine Nightmare of Jericho City to players everywhere on September 24th on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. To survive this brutal world, you will need new equipment, and the Surge franchise iconic limb-cutting mechanics provide just such an opportunity. In this new video, see how every weapon, every piece of enemy armor, and equipment can be targeted, torn off, and equipped to your exo-rig. This produces new builds letting you destroy your enemies in ever more satisfying ways. Combat in The Surge 2 is quick, brutal, and packed with new and deadly techniques like directional parries, drones, and brand new weapon types. The Surge 2 upgrades everything. Your style is your own, from picking implants and armor set bonuses to how you use energy, stamina, health, or ammunition, combined with an intricate world to explore and incredible unique bosses. The Surge 2 is an action RPG experience like no other. I don't really know about that, describing it as an action RPG experience like no other. This is a series, and the Deck 13 games in general have often been compared to the Souls games. Now, don't get it twisted, these aren't games that are directly rip-offs or carbon copies of the Souls games. They definitely have their own elements, and in the case of The Surge, it has a very unique sci-fi setting, which is a direct contrast to everything that you see in the From Software games. From Software has never done a sci-fi style Souls experience or that challenging action experience. But let's talk The Surge 2. This is a game that's hardly getting any press right now, and I don't really know why. I think Deck 13 has been putting out some solid outings. I thought Lords of the Fallen was pretty good. I thought The Surge was an even better game, and I do think The Surge 2 has some potential to be a really good game. And I think if The Surge 2 is of quality, it's been enough time since the release of Sekiro. I think people are looking for another challenging action RPG experience, and I do think The Surge 2 offers something unique enough where it can be a compelling experience. Now, the caveat is this: The Surge 2 absolutely has to be a quality experience. Much like I've been talking about Greedfall, Greedfall is a game that could put spiders on the map as an RPG studio. Well, if The Surge 2 is of quality, it could really put Deck 13 on the map as a quality action RPG developer, more namely a challenging action RPG developer, where they're creating these experiences that are catered towards those of you that are looking for a deeper challenge. Are they going to be as big as From Software? Never say never, but I don't think that's going to be the case at this point. From Software has really established them as one of the pillar game studios, along with the top studios in the world, whether it be a Naughty Dog, even a Rockstar. They are really in that elite tier, and I'm not saying that Deck 13 can't ever get there, but just with the release of The Surge 2, even if it is an incredible game, even if it's a top tier title, I don't think that's going to put them in that caliber. However, I think it could establish them as probably a studio right at that tier below, you know, a tier 1, tier 2 studio. Not quite a tier 0 studio, but nonetheless, I think The Surge 2 is a game that could end up surprising a lot of people. What I've been noticing with the Deck 13 titles is they are getting progressively better, and if The Surge 2 is a considerably better game than The Surge, well, that means it's gonna be of pretty high quality, and based on the footage that we've been seeing, based on the gameplay that has been rolling out, I do think there's quite a bit of potential in this game. I wanted to talk about The Surge 2 coupled with Elden Ring, because obviously these are two games that really go hand in hand, and I think the word about the title should be getting out about right now. Now, I could understand if you don't want to pay a full $60 for it. That is completely understandable. However, do keep it on your radar, see how the reviews turn out, and maybe come Black Friday, it is a game that you're gonna want to check out. That's gonna conclude this video. Again, Target is suggesting that Elden Ring is gonna drop on June 30th. We'll see if that comes to fruition. I'll keep you guys updated. Hopefully we get some gameplay of the title soon. Maybe that's something we'll see at Tokyo Game Show. Fingers crossed on that. And The Surge 2 has gotten a brand new trailer in the You Are What You Kill trailer. Do give that a look. Maybe not a title you'll pick up right away on September 24th, but definitely something to keep an eye on and see how the reviews turn out. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.